Good morning everyone, welcome to this week's video. So today is part 2 of our primitive fire making videos. Today we're going to be looking at how to make Amadou. Anyway, here we are, we're down in the woods today. We're going to be taking a look at how to make Amadou today. So I've found some horse hoof fungus on the way down today. So the first thing we need to do is process some birch wood, because I need some birch ash for the lye. We're going to get the horizon stove out of the bag, we're going to get that on the go, and then we'll take a look at how we're going to turn the horse hoof fungus into Amadou. Right, so that's all the birch processed, got that ready for the horizon stove. So I managed to find some fat wood on the way down, so we'll use that as a tinder to get the fire going in the horizon stove. And then we'll have a chat and we'll have a talk about Amadou. So this is a horse hoof fungus. This is a bracket fungus, and this grows on the side of, it's parasitic, it grows on the side of dead or dying birch trees. The outer shell of this is absolutely rock solid. Now unfortunately it's this that we need to carve off. Now talking about Amadou, it's not the whole fungus that we're using a specific part of the fungus here. Amadou has been used as a tinder, as something to catch an ember for thousands of years. In fact, a piece of Amadou was found in the Iceman that was found in the Swiss Alps, I think it was, in Otzi's bag there. So it has been processed for thousands of years, and to be perfectly honest, it is it's the best piece of tinder, I think, to catch an ember. So the only issue with it is very, very arduous to process. It takes a hell of a time to get it out of this, and then of course you've got all of the boiling and drying and everything else to go with it. But the end product is absolutely fantastic. So let's just take a look at how we get the Amadou out of the fungus. Right, and we should be there. There we go. So that's what the fungus looks like inside. Alright, it's a bit of a chunk, we don't need that. Right, so what now we're going to do is just take all of this top piece off using a knife. This is going to take me a good while, this is, so I'll bring you back once I've done all of this. So taking the shell off can be quite an arduous task. As you can see, it's really hard, and you've got to get all of that shell out without trying to destroy what Amadou is actually on the fungus. Now personally, I think something like a backhoe is really quite good just to sort of sand the top off. If you look at this piece here, I'll just make a few cuts, and then I can use that just to sand the top of the Amadou off. So there we go, so that's our pot of Amadou here. Right, okay, so now we've got that done, the next step is to give this a soak for an hour, and then once that's been soaked for about an hour, we're going to put it on the boil on the horizon stove, add the ash that we've saved from the previous burn on the birch that we've used, and we're going to make up a lye, and then we're going to give that a burn for about an hour on the stove, and then I'll show you what the next step is after that. Right, so that's the hardest bit done. That is an absolute ball ache taking the skin off that Amadou. I must say, it's not an easy task. Hence the reason why I pretty much normally buy my Amadou, to be honest. Amadou is not expensive. If you go to places like Beaver Bushcraft, I'll stick a link in the description below where you can get the Amadou from. It's worth giving it a go just to see how difficult it is, really. You know, we're using 20th century tools here, and just imagine, you know, how difficult it would have been using stone axes and things like that to actually get that outer shell off that fungus there. And then the thing is as well, is how did they actually work out that you process Amadou like this to give an absolute fantastic timber? You know, it amazes me. It's just absolutely unbelievable what people done with the tools that they had 3,000 odd years ago. So what we're doing now is I'm literally waiting for this birch to burn down, and then we're going to add the ash straight into the water on the pot there. And then we'll stick that pot back up there, and then obviously that makes a lye, and then we're going to be boiling that for about an hour. So I'll bring you back in a bit once this is all burnt down. And then the rest is going in the pot. And then what we'll do is we'll get this fire back up. So we'll add all of the ash, and then we'll stick the lid on that, and we'll bring that up to the boil. So Amadou is probably the best bit of tinder to create an ember off. It's so easy. The ember is a slow burn. It catches even on the lowest of sparks. So if you're using something like flint and steel, I'll stick a video up the top there when we had a look at a tinder pouch from Beaver Bushcraft on a previous video. But yeah, Amadou is absolutely brilliant bit of kit. So like I say, I've completely run out of the stuff. It's time to do some more. So what we'll do now is we'll just let this simmer. That's just about on the boil now, and we'll leave that for an hour, and then we'll look at the next step. Right, so that's been on the boil for just over an hour now, so we'll look at the next process now. So the next thing we need to do is drain all of this down and start beating it down. So some of the smaller bits you can just whack down with a mallet. So this is made out of a piece of birch, this is. And then of course you've got some of the thicker pieces that you're going to need to use your axe for. When you look at the work that you have to put into it, there is tons that you have to do, you know, all of that scraping down, all of that hard outer surface of the horse hoof fungus, all the prep for it. It is a hell of a lot of work. And then when you take it all out and then you've put it all inside of your pan and you think, oh my God, that is so much that you need to, you know, so much work that you put in to get such little out. But then when you actually pat it down and flatten it out, you know, you get a good bit here. So this is all out of one horse hoof fungus, so it is definitely worth putting the effort in to process this Amadou. Right, so it's been about 4 or 5 days now since we've processed the Amadou, so I've let this just dry out completely naturally at home. We've got a nice bag of Amadou here. What I must say is this probably isn't the best Amadou that I've made. The fungus that we've used is probably quite old, to be perfectly honest, so this isn't the best Amadou that we've made. So it's all dried out, we've just got a little bit of work to do on it just to finalise it all. So we need to do this quite gently, so we're just going to use the birch mallet that we made the other day, and we're just gently going to spank the Amadou just to release some of the fibres, and then we'll have a go at making a birch torch. Right, so we're just going to loosen the fibres on the top of the Amadou there. Just using my nail there. There we go. Now this flint is completely destroyed. Let's just try and find a bit that might create a spark. Let's try on the top there. There we go. Right, and let's get that into our birch torch. Now that the ember's deep inside of this, I can just leave this now. It's just so slowly smouldering away. But what we're going to do now is just use the wind. I'm just going to put this in the direction of the wind. And the wind is just going to blow this now. Right then guys, there we go, that's it for this week's video. If you want any more information about processing Amadou, I'll stick the whole method and stuff in the description below, and I'll stick a link to Beaver Bushcraft in the description as well, if you fancy just purchasing some of the Amadou off those as well. Thanks for watching this week's video. Please, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel just here. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to get notified when the next video comes out. And as always, there's a couple of videos here for you to take a look at, and we'll see you next week out on the next one.